Alright, as you can see, I have... Try not to drop them. I have a pile of boards to fix. So that's one. I got another one here. Yeah, I got lots of boards to fix. The one I'm going to focus on now is one. Well, we'll do this one too, because I just need to replace the keyboard connector. So we'll put that on the plate. And then let's see. Oh yeah, fix that one. This one just needs to be ultrasonic. And get some solder mask. That's my keyboard connector one. Solder mask. This one just needs solder mask and inspected. Here we go. This one doesn't have a sticker on it, so I'm not quite sure where we're at with this guy. Maybe we'll test him next. And then that's our keyboard connector one. This one is no backlight. We need to figure out why it has no backlight. First thing I'm going to do is move these other boards. We're going to turn our LCD so you can see it. I'm going to turn the microscope light off in case we get a backlight on here. I plugged it on into another board, another screen, pardon me. Oop. And I got no backlight, so that's how I kind of came to the conclusion it has no backlight. So we're going to flip the screen all the way around, I guess. And plug in our DCN board and our DCN flex. Try not to drop all these boards onto the floor. I'm off I'm off the shot, so you can't even see it, but I have to trust that I'm gonna plug it in and see what's going on here. Plug in our MagSafe into our power supply. Turn it on. Drawn 550 milliamps, so yeah, I know this board works. It had no backlight. And it's a 3437, so it's gonna take a minute. I could turn the screen up just so you can see if it turns on. I figured the overhead camera would be better. So we'll wait for our flashing question mark folder. Oop. Put this cable up here so it doesn't fly off the table. You know what? I could test backlight. Yep, CPU's on. And we're only getting PP bus voltage on D7701. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can make it brighter or flash. Come on. See that? That's a blinking question mark folder. Turn the flashlight off. Yep, so we officially do not have backlight on this board. So let's find out why. This is a 2013 13-inch MacBook Air board. Ooh, that's awfully hot. Yeah. So put our test screen to the side. Go ahead and turn on the light. Move this label because we don't need it. Let's check our fuse to see if our fuse is blown. So we'll go to resistance mode. We'll check our backlight fuse. And we're showing a 0.2 ohm resistance, which means our fuse is good. Because a fuse can only blow open. So our fuse is good. Let's check continuity between D7701 and the trace that goes through the board and make sure we have a connection there. We'll put on our nice beeping noise so you can hear it. So that trace is not broken. I'll show you. See if I can point it out. I don't know how well I'm going to be able to show you down here. Can't wait to get my microscope camera hooked up. Basically, D7701, the diode right here. Right here connects to this. Whoop, went a little too far. Connects to this. This side goes up here to this via underneath this inductor right there. Sometimes if you get corrosion there, that via will snap right at the solder mask. It'll snap and it'll be really hard to see. All you have to do is do a continuity mode from that end of the diode to that through hole via. And if you don't get continuity, then you know that's broken right there. So you just basically eliminated half the problem. Now we're going to look at our LED driver. This board's got some caps that look a little questionable. Might have to go ahead and replace those too. Yeah, this board had some spill on it. The SMC looks a little worse for wear. I remember fixing a bunch of stuff on this board and I couldn't get all that stuff off the SMC, so SMC kind of looks bad, but it works. And I hate to say it, but I'm not gonna replace it. I'm not gonna take a working SMC off of a board just because it looks bad and replace it. That's kind of silly. And other than the aesthetics, that stuff is not going to hurt the functionality of the board whatsoever. Okay. Let's come over to our LED driver. And pin 5 on our LED driver looks bad. Looks really bad. Yeah. I don't like the way it looks. It's not a nice round solder ball. It's more like stretched out, like conical shape, like it heated up, overheated, and where'd you go? Oh, geez, yeah. Oh, and our backlight boost ball is practically missing too. It's like as thin as a pinhead. So I'll show you on the schematic and the board view. Just to waste a little time because this is going to be a quick fix. Backlights are always quick fixes. Not, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time. Now watch me put a new U7701 on there and it doesn't work. I'll eat my words. It's 3437 board. We're gonna I'll put on OBS. And second, we'll swap screens here. I like doing the screen swap stuff. Yeah, we'll go to the screen. So down here is our U7701. This ball here is PPV out switch LCD backlight feedback. What that basically does is it's a feedback loop that goes back inside this. It takes the voltage that's coming through. See if I can bring this, bring the chip, the IC up on, yeah. So basically our feedback is right there, A5. So it's basically, here's our boost that comes from these two, comes through, and then part of that goes through, or it goes through D7701 back to pin 5 of the LP8550 or U7701. So basically it's checking to see how much it's boosting. So this says 50 volts. So I think the highest I've seen it go is 25 volts. So if it was 50 volts, then I think it wouldn't be seeing the screen, because it would just be the LP8550 would just be putting out 50 volts, but so there's no load. So the screen or the LEDs are they put a load on the circuit, load it down. So 25 volts is what I usually see if the backlight is working. So then, you know, that gets fed back into here, into this chip, and it says, okay, I've got 25 volts, I'm doing good, so I don't need to boost any more than what I'm doing. And then if this line is broken between the cathode of D7701 and that's that via that goes through the board. So this little wire, or this little line here, is basically from the one side of that diode that I pointed to, and then this is the other, or this is the other side of the diode, excuse me. Or yeah, it's underneath the inductor next to it, or coil. And so sometimes this line breaks right here. So of course, you know, the feedback, the voltage, the signal's not going back to the LP8550, so it doesn't know. It's, you know, it's assuming it's only putting out PB bus voltage, which is 856 or 8.6, whatever, and so it's not going to boost because it's not getting feedback. That's a pretty common problem. And then also another common problem is this chip itself loves to die. It's very sensitive, and I've replaced, I don't even know how many of these. They just like, you get the slightest little liquid on them and they'll just die. They're not robust whatsoever. They like their little 5 volts of V in, and then that's it. If they get any more, they crap themselves. Yeah, so PB bus goes through F7701 here, goes through Q7706, and comes in here through L7701, which I believe is the coil that I was talking about. Is it? Let me see. Yes. Yep. Yeah, because here, if I look at this, there's D7701. This is the cathode of D7701, and then there's L7701, the boost. And then right here, this XW is the via that gets broken. Also, maybe it doesn't go, yeah, it goes to this side, so I'm sorry, that's my mistake. It comes through the cathode, goes through XW7222. And these are our two backlight pins. And these are some backlight current sense resistors. So they go through pins 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 because there's 6 of them. Yeah, so now I think C7710, yep, and C7714 go to or C70, yeah, they go to VN for the L for our LP8550. So C7714. So that's these two. We could plug the board in and test and see if our LP8550 is getting its VN, which I'm pretty sure it is. So that comes into VN here on pins 11 and 16. And then pin 6 is for LCD backlight boost, which is part of this little loop that powers the backlight circuit. So if pin 6 looks like crap, which it does, and if pin 5 looks bad, the LP8550 just doesn't, it's just not gonna work. We could test. Yeah, it's pointless. And I could do some testing on this, but we already know that it's broken. So I'm not even gonna bother to test it. So I'm pretty sure it's dead. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna fire up the hot air station and all of our soldering equipment. We're gonna switch screens. And then we're gonna replace this and make this board work. Make the backlight come back. First things first, I need to get I'm gonna put this, once again, I'm gonna put this in the way so I can solder with the hot air station. I'm gonna grab a LED driver from my box of ICs. I have tons of ICs, so we'll just put it on down here. I'll look for my LED driver in a second. We're gonna kick this one off the board real quick. Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward repair. I'm at 20 minutes right now, but that's because I'm talking and doing everything else. Typically it takes me about 20 minutes to fix it. Heat it up from far away for a second. Just kind of warm the board up. Notice my microscope's a little crooked. Alright, now we'll go in and take it off. Alright, he's off. Go ahead and put some flux down and clean all this old solder off here. Now I would turn my fume extractor on, but it's noisy. We got enough noises as it is, so I'm just going to bear with it for this quick repair, and then once I'm done with this video and I do my next repair, I'll obviously use the fume extractor. I think once I get a quieter fume extractor, I will start using it during videos. the one I want's kind of expensive, and I'm trying to make make the production of my videos higher quality. So at the slightest expense of my health. Alright. So those are cleaned up. I'll go ahead and trim the used part of my solder braid up. Tuck that back in the drawer. Take a Q-tip and clean this up. Some alcohol. We do have some more stuff to address on this board. I'm probably gonna sell this board, so we're gonna definitely address the other issues. Clean up everything, make it look nice and neat before we sell it. Or offer it for sale. I have too many boards that I'm holding on to. I need to get rid of some of them. Or keep a few for insurance purposes, so if I get a board that I can't repair and the customer's really hurting for to get their board or their computer fixed, if I've got a logic board I can replace in their computer for them, I'll give them a really good deal. All right, put a little flux. Sort through all these Mauser packages. All this stuff is from Mauser. This whole box of stuff. Of ICs and fuses and diodes and all that stuff is all from, I buy stuff from Mauser. It's a great company. I got oodles and oodles of LED drivers. Oh, that's a fresh batch. I need to find. I don't even know how many of these chips I've got lying around. Hundreds. I burned through them. Fuses. More fuses. Schottky diodes. Zener diodes. Dual Schmidt trigger. P-channel MOSFETs. What? Another MOSFET. Ultra power, low power switch. Sorry, it's funny because I'm well organized, but for some reason so there's that package of them. Here's another one. Yep, that one's not open, so I guess we'll just open this one and use one of these. How long is this video going? 25 minutes? Alright. Be done with this pretty soon. Drop our nice fresh little LP8550 with its new solder balls. Make sure pin 1 is in the correct orientation. Smash him down on the board. Inner flux. I'll definitely UC this board after I'm done too. I'm gonna make a little more mess on it after this video is over. I just want to do the backlight on camera, on video, and then I'm going to address these other capacitors that I see that have gray end caps on them. Alright, line our chip up, and then we're going to heat far away from her a little bit. Get all this other stuff out of the way. Start off heating them up a little from far away. This is going to be pretty quick. I'm going to drop my air, I think. Going on to 75 so we don't blow him off the board. These little things like to fly off. And since these are leaded solder balls, it doesn't take much to get this thing to melt into place. Bring it in a little closer. Once those balls get a little melted, it should slide into place hopefully. If I didn't misalign it too far. Whoop. Alright. It's moved into place. Are you going to dance for me or what? Whoops. Alright. Just danced into place. Let it cool for a minute, and then I'm going to inspect, make sure the balls are nice and oval and it's nice and level and soldered good. If not, we'll do it again. Nope, those look good. Uh-oh. That's not good. Shoot. Oh, we messed up. Alright. So we're going to have to reball. We'll have to put him to the side and reball him and do it again. I think I didn't line him up correctly, so it moved quite a bit into place before it sat down. We're missing a ball on the side, so we'll just put another one on there. Not a big deal. Flip them over real quick. Yeah. Yep, we, unfortunately, where'd it go now? Oh, jeez. Huh. I just flipped him into... Oh, there he is. Like I just flipped him into oblivion. Alright. Take two. I'm not gonna redo this video just because I messed up. Because it happens to everyone. Nobody's perfect. I guess the important thing is if you catch your mistake. I need a little more flux. New solder braid. Everything looked okay though, the way I soldered it, like the way it was soldered down to the board looked just fine, but I don't think I had it lined up good, so it moved, or it had to move quite a ways before it lined up onto the solder pads. We'll just take care to line this one up better. How hot. Alright. That's good. Get rid of this old flux. Cool the board off a little bit, because when we go to put our flux down again, it's going to melt. we want it to be kind of solid, so it kind of holds the chip in place a little bit while everything gets soldered. So if we don't do that, probably going to have a replay of what just happened. I just noticed something. Scraping away at the solder mask. Now, oh no, those backlight boost pins are supposed to be connected. Pins 7 and 6, 6 and 7 are backlight boost. I don't know if I created a little solder bridge between them, or if the mask is gone, or what. I don't know if I want those two pads combining, so I may throw a little solder mask in between them, because my only concern is that those balls are gonna spread out and combined into one, and then our boost circuit's not gonna work. So I'm thinking we kind of want to dab some UV mask on there. Yeah. We're going to dab some mask on there. And another place we can make sure this goes without a hitch this time. That one. Boy, this is. Use my X-Acto knife. I'm getting like the liquid part of this solder mask, but not the. Oops, that's probably too much. All right. Yeah, that's not working the way I wanted it to. I just wanted a little tiny speck. There we go. Where's my light? That'll work. We'll just freeze that. Like I said, those two boost pins are probably fine touching each other, but those two pads combined into one big pad, and I'm worried that the balls are going to spread apart and they're not going to solder correctly. Okay. That should work now. Flux, and we'll get another driver. Since we flummoxed the first one. Try not to do it again. These chips are not cheap. buy a lot of them, so the more you buy, the cheaper they are. Okay. First, I'm gonna drop the board on my lap because that's gonna help the situation. All right. What I'm doing now is putting the board at an angle so I can see the first row of balls line up. Oops. All right, there we go. Let's try this again, shall we? Silly little LED driver. Take our tweezers and our hot air. Put our X-Acto knife away. Cut myself. Kind of move in a little bit. Alright, that was much better. Our little LP8550 moved into place and didn't have to move very far. Just make sure those balls were nice and okay. It's good. Ouch, hot. Okay. Alright, that looks nice. Okay. Yep. That'll do. Let it cool off for a second and we'll clean it with alcohol and try it out. We'll fix the other issues with this board. Fix the these 4 capacitors that are gray, have gray end caps. Probably met with corrosion. Looks like I've UC'd this board before. I've done some work on it. Said I had to do work on the SMC. Reflow it. Okay. Okay. It's pretty cool. Let's try and see what we got now. We could have a backlight, and we could have nothing. But if we do have nothing, it's okay. We'll just continue to troubleshoot until we can get it fixed. Kick off the microscope light LED so I can see if we get a backlight this time. Alright, powering on. Test D7701. And what you can see there is we got 24.76, if you round up, 25 volts of backlight. So that means we fixed our backlight issue. And as definitive proof in a second, fingerprints all over my screen here. Flashing question mark folder. Or that you can see. Yeah. So that backlight issue is now fixed. So this board is one step closer to being completely repaired. It now works and has a nice backlight. It just needs some prettying up. There's these 4 capacitors. There's some capacitors here that are kind of great end caps. I don't like the way they look. All right here, these guys. Yep, you can see those guys there. I don't like the way they look, so they gotta get replaced. So we'll go ahead and replace them, and then we'll go over the board and thoroughly inspect it one more time just to make sure that everything is good. But so that's a backlight repair. Took 44 minutes because I messed up on the first replacement of the backlight driver. It's kind of critical you line those things up really well, because if they're off, like I had it, mine was slightly off and off the solder pads, and it had to move quite a bit, and when it did, pin 4 or pin 3, the solder ball in pin 3 moved, so it wasn't soldered. So anyway, that is a that's a backlight repair on a 2013 13-inch MacBook Air board. It's a 82000 or 820-3437, excuse me. Yeah, that's how you do a general backlight repair on a board like that. So I'm going to pick some other boards and do some cleanup. I just have to put solder mask on another one, and that one's done. Then I have just some simple repairs on all these other ones. I have to look at this one. It doesn't have a note. I usually am really good about putting notes on here. So I just fixed the keyboard connector on this one. This just needs solder mask on some wires next to the SMC. I need to touch up some solder joints on here. I'll have to look at that one a little closer, because I guarantee I'll probably have to replace some stuff. And then this one, I got to reflow U7090, remove J6100. Just need to touch up a bunch of solder joints on that one, so that one's kind of boring. These ones I might save for when I get my a actual PC that I can hook up instead of my little MacBook Pro, so I can use my actual camera. I want to know why this is like tilted. Strange. It's almost like it's leaning, but it's not. This part of the microscope can't really tilt. It's this part that can tilt. Anyway, that's it for this one. So, hope you enjoyed that little quick repair of that board. If you did, give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.